What is up, everybody? This is Marshall Lee of DonkeyJawProjects.com, and this is the Early Bird Artcast. Not without technical difficulties, but we are here. And I don't want to do necessarily the cliche like New Year's resolution like video and stuff, but you know what? We're gonna do the cliche New Year's resolution video. And today we have Mr. Russ Leach and Teresa Del Pilar. How are you guys doing?
Hi, thanks.
Hello.
Russ, where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube as Comic Book BlackBelt. You can find me at russleach.com, onlydeathcansavus.com. That's my new book out next year, and comicbookblackbelt.com. And while you're there, remember to sign up for the email list while you're there.
Yes, awesome. And Teresa, where can we find you?
You can find me here on YouTube, or you can find me on Instagram, same name that is down here, but with underscores.
Awesome. So, first of all, I wanted to kind of evaluate, a little bit what this past year has looked like for each of us, and then get into a little bit of what we're thinking about for next year. So I'll just, start with me for this past year has been interesting. I did 365 days making comics again. I obviously the year isn't finished, so I'm not finished, but I definitely didn't succeed in doing 365 days straight. I mean, I give myself a day off every week if I need it. A lot of times I don't take it, but there have been definitely weeks where I've taken 2 days off, or maybe even more than that, because life for me has been super busy. I've been just making a lot of changes and doing a lot of adulting within the later part of this year. But that being said, I might not have got 365 days done, but doing that challenge, I've gotten probably around 340 days at least. So I think it's still kind of a good thing that I did that. That being said, so that was the second year of me doing that. And then, I did, let's see, what projects did I do? I feel like it's hard for me to even remember, because I know I started off the year trying to do a comic book a month for my Patreon. Now my Patreon is gone, and I'm not doing that. And I did that last year, and it was going pretty good, but I realized that I just couldn't manage that, and I had some very strong YouTube aspirations, and I couldn't manage doing the kind of videos that I would like to do, because it just takes so much time, and making comics takes so much time. So I think that was like a lesson that I kind of learned, even though I've been learning that for years and years, to be honest. But, I don't know, I'm starting to realize what my channel is. The bread and butter is live streams and the working artist vlog. And then once in a while, I can do some of these special videos. It is important to do these special videos, though, because one thing that's really cool about this year is one of those special videos I did was how to start your comic. And we went into like mini comics and stuff. And that has built the community so much, to the point where I went from under 1,000 to 5,000 subscribers within this year, and still counting. So that's really cool. It is worthwhile doing those bigger, better videos and really optimizing them, and just trying to help people, really, because that's what it's all about. And that's when you help people, that's when you can start actually building the audience, because you're helping them, they're helping you. And we have the AAA creator community on Discord, which is amazing. Like, that is a new thing. So the community has grown in really cool ways, and a lot of people have gotten involved, and it's so cool to expand the community and kind of be part of raising all the ships. Hopefully we can all just play our part in that. So that's cool. But on the comic side, that's like the main part. That's the part that should kind of be the main part, and in my opinion, because that's what my goals are. And I did do some things. I think I finished up Corncob Rob in the beginning of the year, or if I can remember correctly. I also launched my mailing list and put comics that people could read behind that. I feel like I did more. I know I did other comics. I did a mini comic, Terra and the Pterodactyl. I did the 1 hour comic challenge. I started that, which was really cool. A lot of people participated. Teresa here actually participated in that.
Yep.
That was really fun. And then, I feel like I've done some more comics, but it's hard to remember. But I did do the Legends of the Lone Wolf project with Doug Garrett. It's an anthology. I just finished the 13-page.
Where's my comic?
Story for that. Yeah, it's going to be a while because it's still being finished. But, my part's done. So there's that. And then I also worked on the Werewolves and Unicorns anthology, which Teresa was a part of as well, which is really cool. And that came out. So I was very much involved in the creation of that altogether, but also, my own story in there, that was fun. And what else did I do? I feel like there's more. Like I did little stories here and there. But I think it was a pretty productive thing. I did create comics this year, which is like a big deal. Like there's been a lot. I talked about creating things, but didn't actually finish anything. And I finished a few things this year. So I would say that's pretty cool. So yeah, what about you, Russ? When you look back on this year, do you feel like you've gotten some accomplishments in?
Yeah, I think the theme for the last year has been a change of focus. So I started the year off with the last Doctor Who work that I did, and rather than look at getting a page rate for work, I decided to look at more getting my own book sorted out, my own scripts, and making my production stream and my revenue stream all about my stuff, my personal creations rather than other people's. So, and that led into me looking at putting together the YouTube channel properly, because I'd only been playing with it up till then. And also reaching out to people like yourself and being part of a larger art community on YouTube, which is very rewarding, actually, because you get to speak to so many different people and see so many different talents, and that's underpinned my ideas of going forward with my own work. A bit of diversification in that time as well, because as much as has he dropped out?
Yeah, he's left us.
He's left us.
Yeah, the channel is ours. Woohoo!
Because it's like Russ is talking, I'm off. That's it.
No, please continue, because with this new voice of yours, is very dramatic.
Yeah. This is the third time I've got my voice back in the last 8 weeks. So diversification really after that. Being able to work on film scripts for storyboarding, and being accidentally bumping into a rather large online project, which is taking most of my time up at the moment. But hopefully I'll be able to get back. Oh, here he is. Hopefully I'll be able to get back to. Sorry, was I boring you?
My computer, man, technical difficulties all day is crazy.
Which, although taking up most of my time, hopefully I'll be able to get back into my own book, which I'm pretty much like the way that you guys have worked on the 100 Days of Working Comics. I'm forcing myself to do at least a day, or at least some time every day on my own book, so that I make sure it happens. I should be able to get a reasonable amount of time on the production early next year, but I've also got more storyboard work coming, and the project I'm on seems to be ongoing. So lots of diversification, but also a real change of focus onto, instead of chasing page rates and other publishers' work, I'm focusing on what I want to do and how that will benefit me moving forward professionally.
Cool.
Awesome. I'm so happy to see the direction you've gone with your personal project and stuff, for sure. and where you're headed with that. Teresa, what about you? What kind of things have you gotten your dirty little hands into this year?
Well, I'm not sure. Well, I don't know if I want to talk about that, but I'll tell you what comics I've been working on. Yeah, I've been working on. I was going to point at the poster, but it's inverted. So somewhere here behind me, there's the poster for the anthology, but I'm not sure. Oh, there it is. There it is. So the anthology, yeah, you mentioned that Unicorns and Werewolves anthology. That was great. And I've been working on some other anthologies. I think mostly the main thing this year is that I've been in touch with a lot of writers and colorists and letterers and people that do things that I don't do and collaborating with them. And I find that I really enjoy that. I prefer to working alone because it's great to do one part of the process and pass it along to another person and see how they do something awesome with it. And it's like, oh my God, it's done and I didn't do anything. I love it. It's great. So for me, that would be the biggest thing, like collaborating with people to get anthologies out, collaborating with people to get comics finished. That's been the main tenor of this year. And yeah, like Russ, same thing. YouTube. First time I do YouTube. It's been fun. I enjoy making videos. I didn't think that I would, but I actually enjoy the editing and the filming and everything. I don't particularly like getting my face in there and like, hello everyone, that whole YouTube thing. I haven't quite clicked with that yet. But as far as making videos and answering comments and all that, I'm pretty happy with it. So that would be, I think, the good summary. Collaboration on YouTube.
Awesome. Yeah. Sure. And something else that I forgot to mention is something we're all involved in, which is the romance anthology. I was able to write that story, and Russ is going to be illustrating that when we get through to that, which is
in my sleep.
Really looking forward to. What's that?
In my sleep.
In your sleep, yeah.
I'll find some time.
Yeah. And Teresa's working on that as well, so that's really cool. I'm really excited about that. And that's going to hopefully be coming around in 2020. Speaking of that, this coming year, what do I want to do? Like, that's an interesting question. I feel like to me, it's all about creating and finishing comic books. Like that is like, that's the more I can do that, the better I will be for my career and also the community. Really, that's all it is. It's comics and community. That's kind of what my life is when it comes to all this stuff. So building the AAA creator community has been really fun, and I feel like we're gonna just keep growing. And also, just YouTube in general. I'm going to continue doing the same videos I've been doing, and hopefully get some more of those kind of more special, channel building videos up too, which are also very helpful for people. People really like those kind of videos. And then also, I am working on Big Wrath with Peter Palmiotti, so I want to get all that, put together, designed, and penciled. That's going to be kind of the first order of business. And then, see if we can get that project off the ground as well. And the other thing is Calamity Jane with Michael Emirates. I really want to get that going and off the ground. So that's kind of going to be my early focus for 2020. And then I also want to hopefully get onto Glyph or another project that's just kind of solely my thing. I mean, I might have collaborators and stuff, but something that's just really, Calamity Jane kind of is that too, but I think Mike's going to end up doing a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to the art side of things, God willing. So, that's kind of my thing. It's pretty simple. I don't want to keep it. I don't want it to get too complicated. I'm realizing that I always kind of try to hit the ground rolling in the new years with with a lot of things in mind, but I feel like 3 is probably a good goal. If I can get all those done and I've gotten to the end of the year, having done a big chunk on those, I'll feel accomplished. If I get more, that's awesome too. We'll see what happens. But what about you, Russ? What's your plan for World Domination in 2020?
Yeah, it's definitely Only Death Can Save Us. I want that out next year by hook or by crook. Whether I go to crowdfunding or whether I go via a publisher is still up in the air. I suppose it depends how much another publisher might like it, or what kind of deal there is involved. But I'm quite keen on the crowdfunding aspect of it, and growing the channel, trying to get out to more people. And I think those are my focuses. The other stuff that I do, as much as it's enjoyable, is really about paying the bills. So that's
Lost him again.
I've lost everyone. I just got beat.
we're all here.
He's playing with the camera. So yeah, it's just that's what I'm really. Excuse me. Turn that on. So yeah, that would be it really. My own IP, and I think that's the way to go for so many artists now, because the comic book industry, the publishing industry, let's be polite about it, it's in flux. I think that's the nicest way to describe it. Everything is up in the air, and I think you can go out and grab your own readership, and so by that make your own revenue stream, because you must put the two of them hand in hand. If you're entertaining people and they want to pay for that entertainment, that's everybody's happy. And also delivery as well. I mean, I'm not going to go into the details, but there's lots of stories going on at the moment about people not delivering on time. That's something that I'm very hot on. I'm actually got an idea for a video about that, and I'll actually be producing 90% of the book before I even touch a crowdfunding campaign, because I want people to see and trust the product and not think, oh, it's somebody else that's just going to run off with my money, which does seem to happen quite a lot. And I think the whole crowdfunding part of the business needs to have more trust. It needs to have more people turning up and delivering on time. It's not to say that some people who are delivering late are going to run off with the money. They're not. Things happen, and not everybody's in the position to put the work together first before they get the funds. I understand that. And stuff happens and people are accepting of it. But the more people that turn up and provide on-time work, I think the more that crowdfunding will be trusted, and the more it will become a marketplace for people like us to produce stuff and get it out to the world. So that's my kind of focus. That's where my head's at.
Absolutely. I think putting out projects and doing crowdfunding is a great way to do that. Also, if you can get published, that's also a great way to do it. Different, there's many different paths. And I'm looking at both of them to a certain degree, but it's definitely my own IPs personally. And I think a lot of the people who watch these things, and whether you're in it for a career or you're in it just to have fun and share your comics with people, either way is super valid. But I think those, that crowdfunding route is a great way to go. And I'm looking forward to doing that myself. What about you, Teresa? How are you going to rule the world in 2020?
That's a difficult question. I would say I'm a few steps behind Russ. So my aim is to work with publishers at the minute, because I think I still lack the key experience of working with a team and working with, I think I can learn a lot from learning from working with other people at the minute. So before I go the indie route, I would like to have the experience of working with professionals that I think I can learn a lot from. So in terms of drawing, I think I'm all right. But in terms of industry knowledge, I think I'm very behind. So I would rather gather that information from people that are there and that are professionals first before I consider going indie. So this coming year, I want to finish my graphic novel that I'm currently halfway through. So it's a big goal of mine, so I can show it to publishers and say, look, this is my portfolio. This is a graphic novel I've already finished. Would you like to work with me? And they'll say no until they say yes. So that's my plan.
Awesome. I like that, because I'll tell you and I'm going to do a video. Actually, Shell Presto, who's been on the show before and is a big part of the AAA creators community, she suggested that I do a kind of what have I learned from working on the Lone Wolf project and stuff like that. And so I'm going to do that video because I think it's really cool. I've already written my notes and stuff. But, collaborating with people, I mean, that's a lot of what I've done in the past few years. And man, what I've learned from that. And actually, I'm going to do another video about collaborations because I think there's some things I've learned that could help people move forward with that kind of thing. So yeah, I totally agree. That's a great goal, collaborating with people. I think it only makes you better. I think it makes the projects you're working on unique and interesting in a way that none of the collaborators actually thought necessarily, but ends up usually making it better if you're able to do it successfully. And I think those are great goals from all of us. And I'm curious, everybody who's watching in the video, whether you're watching now or later, I'd love to hear in your comments, what do you feel like maybe was your kind of number one lesson you learned this past year with your creativity? And, also what do you plan to do in 2020 with your creative projects? Other than that, I have to get to work. So I think we're going to sign off here. I know it's a little bit of a short but sweet one. Russ, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me at russleach.com, comicbookblackbelt.com. Obviously, I'm Comic Book Black Belt on YouTube. And also, you can find me at onlydeathcansavus.com. And you can sign up to my email list on any of those addresses, plus Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find me there as Russ Leach. So.
Awesome. And Teresa, what about you?
Here on YouTube with the name down here and same name but with underscores on Instagram. Teresa del Pilar. That's me.
Awesome. And there will be links in the description as soon as I'm able to get to it, hopefully very soon. And you know where to find me, donkeyjawprojects.com, Marsh Comics on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And other than that, thanks everybody for watching. I definitely want to hear from you in the comments, and we will talk to you on the next one.
See you guys.
Bye.